Welcome back. It is 8:23, and this week's Know the Law, coronavirus is impacting the day-to-day operations of various court officials. Joining us is attorney Tom Sinas with a look at that temporary changes now being made to the court system daily operations. Tom, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Tom, we are hanging in there as well because of social distancing. Obviously, this is changing operations for everybody out there. How is the court system managing in this?
Well, I think the court system is kind of doing what everybody else is doing, which is trying to take things one step at a time and trying to create some type of order out of this very chaotic situation. So what we've seen happen over the last few weeks is really kind of similar to what we've seen happening in terms of the relationship between the broader federal government and then the state government. And by that, I mean, we have the Michigan Supreme Court, which is, of course, the highest court in the state, issued an order back on March 18th dealing with how the lower courts, what we call the trial courts, how those courts should implement certain procedures to deal with the coronavirus crisis. And so the Supreme Court in that order said very basically, and then gave some specific examples, but the basic point was the Supreme Court said that trial courts need to limit access to the courtrooms to no more than 10 people, and including staff, and that they had to limit their business to essential functions. Again, similar concept that we've heard described in other parts of our life these days. So the trial courts around the state now are trying to implement the Supreme Court's order about how to conduct only the essential functions piece of what they do. So each trial court in the state really is doing this in terms of the specifics. They're doing it a little bit differently. So if you have a legal matter, one of the things you want to know first, obviously, is what court are you in, and then try to figure out how that court is dealing with the particulars of implementing the Supreme Court's order regarding limitation on court activity of only essential functions.
So it sounds like it varies from county to county, and it would be up to the defendants or anybody within a legal case to contact their attorneys to figure out how to move forward with their cases?
Yes, that's obviously the place to start. If you have a lawyer, you want to talk directly with your lawyer. But to your point about the county, let's use Kent County for an example. So there is an order in effect right now in Kent County that applies to the civil and criminal docket. So any civil case, any criminal case, there's a separate order that applies to the probate court. On the civil and criminal side, the chief judge in Kent County has issued an order that's going to stay in effect until the governor's stay-in-place order expires. Now, we know that we're thinking maybe that'll be extended, but for now, the business in Kent County is as follows. Any status conference, sentence, or trial of any kind is adjourned until after April 14th, which is when the governor's current order expires. The court in Kent County is only conducting emergency hearings, and when they do those, they're only conducting them by video conference. And any motions, motions are the back and forth within a particular case, and they're typically on civil cases. Any civil motions has to be addressed by each judge's office, meaning each judge is going to decide whether they're going to conduct civil motions, and if so, how. But the chief judge makes clear that there will not be any public hearings held. So there will not be what we commonly see in Grand Rapids on Friday. There's not going to be civil motion days. So that's the civil and criminal side. There's a whole separate set of orders dealing with probate court in Kent County. And again, these will vary a little bit from county to county. So you want to know where your case is pending, what kind of case you have, and then how your particular court is dealing with your particular matter. And as you said, Brody, the place to start, of course, if you have a lawyer, is with your lawyer.
All right, real quick, Tom, how can we get a hold of you for anybody who's interested in getting their issues dealt with, rather?
So like all other businesses, we've been working really hard to get switched over to remote. Our firm is now, everyone's working remotely except for a few essential people. So you can find us the way you found us before. You can give us a call at 616-301-3333. You can find us online still at www.sinusdramus.com, or shoot us an email at info@sinusdramus.com.
Tom Sinas, very informative. Thank you for your time. It's 8:28. We got a lot more coming up after the break.